Good afternoon, church family. It is February the 7th, 2021, and February is our Black History Month celebration. We do a Black History moment every Sunday during the month of February, with the fourth Sunday in February being our culmination of our celebrations. Now, prior to COVID, every fourth Sunday in February, we would have a soul food feast. This year, because of the pandemic, we're not going to get to do a gathering and everybody bring their best meats and veggies and desserts. That was always such a wonderful thing, and we're going to get back to that place. But this fourth Sunday, Pastor Staten and I have been talking. We're coming up with some ideas. We're almost sure that we're going to have a feast of gospel music for that Sunday, but we're also going to come up with some other things to highlight it. Reverend Staten is like me. We don't like to have to forego or give up anything that we enjoy when it comes to worship and praise and service at Taylor's Chapel. So I'm going to give you our first installation of Black history. And let me tell you about the origin of Black history. Carter G. Woodson, who was a historian, created the front runner effort to what we recognize as Black History Month in 1926 in the United States. He was in charge of the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. And he announced it was celebrated the second week in February, and it was called then Negro History Month or Week, Negro History Week. President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month in 1976. President Gerald Ford, calling upon the people to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. So that's a little bit about the origin of Black history. And I found a jewel this week in an email. Sister Mary Nettles sent it to me. It's about famous Black folk from Chatham County. And because it's about our home county, I've chosen just 3 or 4 of these to go to cover with you today. I was honored to have known Margie Elizabeth Ellison. Margie was born December the 28th, 1949, and she died in February of 2009. We worked together with the Chatham County Fair. She was a dear, dear friend of mine, and we still miss her to today. Margie's focus was on the viability of raised bed gardens. That was always what she wanted to do. She always encouraged all of us to do that kind of gardening, do raised bed gardening. And believe it or not, I have a raised bed garden now. I've had one off and on for years. Let me tell you a little bit about Margie. Margie Horton Ellison was a tireless Chatham County activist, tackling minority voting rights, youth enrichment, and nuclear plant safety. A retired social worker and Chatham County native, Ellison served as a member of the steering committee of the Chatham Coalition, a grassroots citizens pact that organized to advocate for better planning in the wake of Chatham's runaway growth. For decades, she tackled each challenge with the same belief that those who empower themselves can change the world. Born in 1949, Ellison grew up in Pittsburgh, attending segregated schools and splitting time between her parents' house and that of her grandparents, who cared for her and her sister, while her parents worked. Her father was employed as a chauffeur and cook for a local banker, and her mother worked in a poultry plant, like many of our mothers did. They worked hard for their children to have a better life, and education was the key. Ellison says of her parents, they wanted us to be the first generation to actually go to college, and that's true. Ellison fulfilled her dream graduating from North Carolina Central University, where she was thrust into the civil rights movement at its heyday. During that time, this is a quote from Margie, during that time, there were expectations not only from your family, but from your school and your community to not only make something of yourself, but also to make a contribution. Ellison says, you had to give something back because so many people had done so much to help you. Margaret Bryant Pollard. Margaret Bryant Pollard was also a good friend of mine. I was blessed to have known her. She also worked with the Chatham County Fair effort, and it was because of Margaret Pollard that I took on volunteer work with the Chatham County Fair Association, volunteered, worked strenuously for them and with them for 7 whole years. Margaret was born May the 3rd, 1932, and she died in September of 2009, the 16th of September. She and Margie Ellison were close friends. And so when we lost the both of them, the Chatham County Fair Association lost the contributions of the both of them, it really knocked us for a loop because there was so many wonderful ideas and such great leadership wrapped up in these two people. Now, Miss Pollard was born May the 3rd, 1932, the ninth of 11 children to Maud Lee and Robert Gabe Bryant. The granddaughter of a slave, her life was one of joy and success. Margaret Bryant Pollard attributed her success to the lessons she learned from her parents and siblings. They taught her how to overcome life's challenges with determination and a positive attitude. Her parents harvested cotton, sold a pig or two when bills came due, and even cut timber to cover the children's tuition. Margaret graduated from Horton High School as the class valedictorian. She went on to graduate from North Carolina College at Durham, North Carolina Central University, was with a bachelor's degree in biology and a master's degree in public health. She was fortunate to be able to teach in the high school she attended. After that valuable experience, she left North Carolina to work in various capacities before returning to North Carolina to work as a health educator in Greensboro. When Margaret worked for health education at UNC in Chapel Hill, she worked for the Department of Health Education, and I was the department manager. So I also had experience with Margaret from the Department of Health Education. Margaret returned to Chatham County to work at the dental division of the North Carolina State Health Department. Her final career venture was to serve as an adjunct professor of public health at the University of North Carolina School of Public Health in Chapel Hill. Now, Margaret was appointed to an open county commissioner seat in 1994. Upon completing that term, she ran and won 2 more elections, serving until 2004. She was known for her exhaustive research and data-driven decision-making style, her strong commitment to justice and community uplift, and her leadership in managed growth, environmental protection, and sustainable economic development. Chatham County is a more beloved community thanks to the life and work of Margaret Bryant Pollard. She was Wilbur Bryant's sister. Many of you remember the vegetable man. Margaret Bryant Pollard was Wilbur's sister. And she has a brother still living, Carl Bryant, still lives in Chatham County. Now, Jesse Walker Rogers, born the 18th of December, 1916. died January the 1st, 2009. I knew him personally. Mr. Jesse Walker Rogers was born in Chatham County on December the 18th, 1916, the son of Willie D. and Fanny DeGraffenreid Rogers. He was employed by Griffin Funeral Service in Pittsburgh for 65 years. Mr. Rogers was a North Carolina licensed funeral director since September of 1958, and when the Griffin Funeral Home built a new facility, the reception area was named in his memory by the company. A plaque hangs in the reception hall and reads, "It is with a deep debt of gratitude and honor that we choose to remember Mr. Jesse for his lifetime contributions to generations of Chatham County citizens." He was an active member of Mitchell's Chapel, AME Zion Church, and the Chatham County Ushers Association. He had served as a church usher from age 9 until his death. Mr. Jesse served his church and community for 92 years. Race was not an issue with this kind and gentle man, and he touched many lives at a time when families needed a kind word. Early in my life, I remember blacks and whites used Griffin Funeral Home before Knox Funeral Home was popular, and Jesse Rogers always went to the homes of black families who had deceased ones, and he would work with the black families, and someone else would work with the white families, but all of them worked out of Griffin's Funeral Home. All right, I'm going to do one more, and because these are so valuable, these are these are Chathamites. We all need to know these basic histories, and some of you who are about my age should have known some of these same people that I'm introducing you to today. Louis Edgar Bland, Louis Edgar Bland, born October the 23rd, 1920, died November the 14th, 1975. Louis Edgar Bland, son of Jake and Sophia Taylor Bland, was born October the 23rd, 1920. Mr. Bland worked for many years at the Pittsburgh Agricultural Building. Later, he was employed at the Chatham County Sheriff's Department and was the first Black to join the Sheriff's Department. He remained in that position until his health declined. He was well known in the Pittsburgh area at that time for being on the team of the Pittsburgh Atomic Baseball team and was well recognized for his outstanding baseball abilities. That's our Black History Moment for this Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you next Sunday and sharing with you some more of our Black history. Thank you very much.